So guys, welcome back to F1 2017 Career Mode. Today we are here at the Brazilian Grand Prix for the penultimate race of this season, and it's very interesting in the championship at the moment. And if you didn't see the last one, well, go check it out, because that's the gap at the end of that one between the top two. I'm not going to spoil it, I'll just let it play out, but just looking at the R&D tree, I'm still focusing on this as the beginning of everything, because there's nothing else to really do. I still need to get the second upgrade for the aero. I've said this many a time. I think I'll wait till the end of the season. We'll get a bunch of resource points. I won't spend any just yet. I'll wait till the end of the season because it's only next race, and I can't afford an upgrade, so it's pointless investing in those upgrades. But fifth component for everything except the MG UK is on the car. Toro Rosso, McLaren, and Sauber are interested. But yeah, this is the kind of spoiler part. Lewis Hamilton leads just 30 points over Kimi Räikkönen. It's still all possible for Kimi to close up. It just depends where Räikkönen finishes this race. Räikkönen has to win, technically. In fact, he just needs to get 10 points more than Hamilton, and Hamilton just needs to get, well, yeah, pretty much 10 points more than Hamilton for him to take it to the final race. But Kimi, talking of the guy, is on pole alongside Bottas. Once again, penalties for everyone, so I'm now third. Alonso's fourth as well. Vettel's got penalties. Ricciardo, Verstappen, and I think everyone from P10 downwards has penalties also, especially Hamilton. So except Verline and a few odd cars in between. But yeah, it's going to be one of those end of the seasons where we're going to see a load of penalties, and we're going to see some really good racing, hopefully, from the fast teams when they're starting at the back. But with the likes of a midfield, well, a low midfield team like myself and Magnussen, yeah, we're gonna be bumped up. But Magnussen got a penalty, so the strategy is going to be the conservative strategy. Don't know why I chose the strategy looking back at it, but we're going on the soft tyres to start with and going on the mediums. We're going for a one-stop. Now, I say I should have probably gone with a different strategy. You'll see in this race what I mean and what kind of issues can we have with this strategy. At first, I didn't think we could have a problem, but you'll see we'll have some issues one way or another. But starting in P2 is Bottas on the super softs. By the way, quali was wet, so this is why the likes of Räikkönen, as you'll see in a minute, will start on soft tyres. That's the only shake-up really. That's kind of the annoying thing with this, is that any car can start on any compound they want because of the conditions. It's just the way it is. But yeah, we have to defend pretty much P3. If we can get a good start, then that's great, because we're on the racing line. Bottas is on the dirty side of the track, so the track with the least grip. So technically, me and Räikkönen's start should be pretty good compared to Bottas and Alonso also, who starts behind us. But the start sequence is starting. It's time for the Brazilian Grand Prix. It's 5 red lights till the start. What can we do off the start here? And it's lights out. Away we go. Bottas, as predicted, had a bad start. We've had an absolute amazing start going down into turn 1 side by side with our senior team. Ferrari and Räikkönen locks up. I think it was the front left or front right, can't remember. But we're up into P1 by the end of turn 2. So this is not going to last very long at all. As you can see, Räikkönen is now getting in the slipstream, and he's now going to go to the outside. He's going to try the move. I'm going to push him slightly, going to take the inside line. Just be careful not to barge him or too much. We don't want him to lose a load of ground. And he's pretty much still side by side with us here. And as we go into this corner, I just had to kind of straighten up the steering a little bit, just so I didn't hit him, basically. So that kind of compromised us a little bit, but still P1, luckily. I think no other positions have changed at all. So this is going to be a very eventful first lap. As you can see as well, the fuel's 0.6, so I really wanted to use Rich Mix during the course of this race to kind of defend where necessary, and it's going to be very apparent that we're going to need to defend because we've got the likes of a Ferrari and a Mercedes on the back of us, so this is going to be very difficult to kind of fend them off in standard mix. But as we go through the final couple of corners, Räikkönen's close right up. As we go through the pit lane corner and onto the start-finish straight, Räikkönen is going to try to maybe look to the outside. You can see the proximity error. I'll try to squeeze him, take the inside line into turn 1, have a little bit of oversteer, had to correct, and now that's compromised us a lot, and Räikkönen takes the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix. But we're going to try and stick on the back of him here. This is what we use Rich Mix for. This is why we overfueled the car, so we can attack like this. Now going down into this corner, see if we can close up to Raikkonen. The chassis of that Ferrari is just unbelievable, plus the dirty air that we have has kind of compromised us significantly, and Bottas now will look to try and perhaps find a way past. But Brazil's quite a short lap, so I think some kind of strengths will lie within the straights or the corners. I think we're weak all around, to be quite honest, because the cars are still sticking to the back of us. We're not gaining any time as such. But on to lap 3, we're still in P2, 20 runs still in the race. Raikkonen has opened up a slight gap over us, and Bottas has closed even further in because of the DRS, of course, because this is the lap when it's enabled. So defending against a car with raw straight line speed that is so much faster than us, plus the DRS, is going to be a bit of a pain to defend against. So we're going to do the best I can, really, but as we lock up there, we try to go wide, and we just absolutely have so much oversteer, we lose so much grip, and Bottas goes past with that mistake from us. That's the major mistake that I didn't want to do, and obviously with the pressure of Bottas behind, that's what I did. But going on to lap 6, we have Carlos Sainz going down the inside, and I tried to cut back in, just about hit him there, no damage done to the front wing, and a lot of oversteer going through turn 2 and 3. So this is going to be a little bit of a pain to try and now defend, 1 against Vettel, and 2 catch up to Sainz, because that Renault engine in the back of that Toro Rosso is pretty good, I have to admit. But even though we're better, straight line speed isn't really an issue unless it's on a straight. So we're going to try and close up to Sainz here, so we can try to maybe nip it down the inside, but we're going to close up. We have to brake a lot and even lock up to stop bashing into him, really. But he takes a dirty part of the circuit there, so he's kind of got a little bit of a compromised run, not too much though. But as we go into this corner, the chassis on our car isn't as good as what the Toro Rosso's is, and then Sainz is able to keep ahead. Just it's in the braking zones where we're going to try and catch up, and as you can see, we do, and we got a lot of oversteer on that exit. That's compromised us significantly, with Vettel now looming behind us. He's going to perhaps look for a way past. We've got DRS, this shouldn't be an issue. Sainz doesn't though. We're putting it up into rich mix. We've got more fuel than what we need. I probably predict that the Toro Rosso doesn't have as much fuel, but again, a little bit of slidey action going into turn 2 and turn 3, as always. I think that's to do with the rear downforce more than anything else. There's just not enough of it. In fact, if I were to push up my wings any higher, I wouldn't be quick at all, to be fair. On the straights, I'll just be sitting, just like, even though we've got a Ferrari engine, I'll just be sitting ducks. So as we go through this corner here, we're catching up to Sainz pretty quickly. So now we're going to have to try and look for a move, but of course Sainz is able to defend. He's got enough pace there, but Vettel is looming behind, as I said before. Going on to lap 8, Sainz opens up a little bit more of a gap, and now Ricciardo's behind us. So kind of Vettel and Ricciardo, have they swapped by any chance? Yes, they have. It seems that Ricciardo, with the downforce of the Red Bull, is able to get past. So what that means is that we're pretty much screwed. We can't catch up to Sainz. P2 is probably, well, I think that's Bottas, is probably absolutely flown away. But as we go into turn 1, we're going to try. We tried to make a move on Sainz, but of course I misjudged that completely, and in doing so, we let Ricciardo through. So in some ways this will be good, because we'll get DRS off Ricciardo, and he'll be able to catch up to Sainz and battle with him to stop kind of this issue of me trying to catch up. But saying that, in fact, letting Ricciardo through was probably the best move I've ever made throughout the entirety of this career mode, because he's now going side by side with Sainz now, and he's going to try and get ahead. In fact, he has got ahead, so we're going to see what we can do down into this corner. I tried to look for a move, decided against it, there was no need to, but on this lap, we certainly do dive it down the inside of Carlos Sainz. I'm going to try to hold him. He's still there though, believe it or not. I had to give him room there, and on the exit, I just take the edge of the track. He's pushing me quite significantly. Go into this corner, lock up on the front right, but that's just enough to keep us ahead of Sainz, and by lap 12 we are in P2. We're battling P2 with Bottas now, after some of the front runners have probably made their stops, and we're still on the harder compounded tyre, and Hamilton is behind us now. So in essence, this is kind of a good drive from Hamilton, because he's now on the hardest compounded tyre. He's probably going to the end of the race, and he's very close to Raikkonen, and at this rate I don't think Raikkonen will be getting away with this World Championship, to be quite fair, unless Hamilton has a major issue. But yeah, we're going to have to try and defend against the Mercedes of Hamilton, going on the start-finish straight, definitely, because that Mercedes is just OP as anything in the straight line. But then Hamilton comes into the pit lane, so he didn't just pit. He must have started on those tyres. But saying that, we come in to the pits for our medium compound tyres. So we're going to try and go to the end on this set of tyres, and perhaps we'll be able to salvage something from this. And in fact, I don't think we'll lose too much time. I think we should be able to rival Sainz still. That's kind of my main marker. But saying that, lap 13, well, I say lap 13, it's actually position 13 where I come out on lap 16 of the race. And we're behind Hamilton, so what does that mean? Well, we've lost an absolute chunk of time to Hamilton. And he's probably got away on those super softs, to be quite fair. Although there is traffic ahead, so we could be in with a shout here of perhaps overtaking him. And saying that, Alonso is in P12, and a couple of cars are actually in the pit lane, so we're going to see where we will come out in all this. We're coming out in P10. Yes, we will. We will come out in P10. I was just going to check on the pit lane to see whether or not we had any cars coming out, but obviously we don't. So good stuff. We're in P10. We've actually lost a chunk of time, I'm guessing. So I think a load of other cars are perhaps going on the more aggressive strategy as we defend around the outside against Hulkenberg here on the super soft tyres, and this is going to be very difficult. The Renault is pretty good. As seen before in the US Grand Prix, they were OP in a straight line. But we're trying to defend against Hulkenberg, and we certainly do. We defend P10. This is a points-paying position, so we need to kind of do well here. Lap 18, we're still P10. We're going to get challenged, though, by two cars, potentially, as Hulkenberg dives down the inside once again, and he gets a supreme run out of there. Wow, what a run that is from Hulkenberg, and now he's in P10. So I think now we're going to have to try and find a way to get past. We've got Massa behind us. This is not where I want to be. Although cars ahead will come in for another stop, because those super softs will not go long at all. So that's kind of like the more grippier tyre. I'm obviously on the harder compound, they're on the softer compounded tyre. So in essence, we should be able to kind of negate the effects of that through the consistency of the tyres. But saying that, I made a massive mistake, and then luckily that didn't result in a spin, because that's what I did in practice and spun right out. So that was lucky, but we're compromised now as we have to defend against Massa, and I think that's our teammate Kevin Magnussen. It certainly is. He's going to try as well to overtake us. He's going to, it's even 3 wide going into turn 1. We're going to have to back right out, and we're going to have to try and nip in behind. And saying that, wow, there's just too much to actually kind of commentate over, but we've lost 2 positions after Magnussen and Massa went side by side. Basically, Magnussen went on the left, Massa went on the right, so we kind of had no choice but to kind of back out of that. So I think we may have actually lost a load of time, and it doesn't seem that we're catching Magnussen. To be fair, this pace right now is okay, because we are catching Magnussen very slightly through there. So we should be able to get somewhere during the race, but our fuel is now in negative 0.3, so, well, 0.03 I should say. So we're going to have to do some fuel saving towards the end of the race. But right now, we've actually surprisingly caught up to Magnussen, and Magnussen isn't doing a really good job of keeping ahead of Massa, is he? He's not even on the back of him, but on the exit now, just before the start-finish straight. In fact, we will get DRS from this, so we'll be able to attack now. Going up into rich mix, we have no other choice. We can't really overtake him on standard. We're going to go and see if we can nip to the inside, and we certainly do. And we're going to see if we can try and hold him off into turn 1, but there's contact between the 2 Haas cars, and now it's going to be front wing damage for us. So now we've kind of screwed that well over, and now we have slight front wing damage. This means downforce will be affected. How can we even catch up to Magnussen now? We'll just see though. The damage doesn't seem too bad, so we should be able to catch up. But then saying that, on to lap 24, we're in P8 as Perez tries to overtake, and we're going to try. We tried to hold it, but because of the downforce, we weren't able to kind of go side by side with him there. So we kind of screwed that up, and here comes Carlos Sainz, the guy who I was on about earlier on in the race. We go down into turn 1. Let's see if we can actually defend against him. Oversteer as usual, and now we're going to try and perhaps get the good run on him, but we had to let him go. So now we have DRS, luckily, he was ahead of us during that, but we're going to try perhaps dive it down the inside of this corner. Down the inside we go then, tight to the apex, contact is being made. Sainz is not very happy at all, and he just keeps it side by side there. And we're going to see if we can actually avoid any incidents going into this corner, and we certainly do brake a bit early, but then Sainz comes all the way back with the supreme downforce. And now he's going to try and nip it down the inside. I've seen my opportunity to go down the inside here of this lovely corner. And hopefully we'll have the traction on the exit. And we certainly don't. So we nip to the inside of Sainz now. My goodness me. And there's even more contact. And front wing damage on the front left of that wing. It's yellow. We're going to have to pit for super softs. We can't continue. As you can see, we just lock up there because of the damage to the front wing. That's affected us a lot. And I think the damage that we sustained from Magnussen has affected us quite a bit. And coming out of the pit lane, we're lap 29 and we're in P19, and guess what, we've got a faster car behind us, and I think that's Vettel in P2. So I don't know who's in P1. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it's Kimi Räikkönen, because he needs to win this to actually have a good shot at perhaps taking this to Mexico. Not Mexico, Abu Dhabi. I'm going back in time, jeez. But yeah, that means we only have to do 35 laps. That will slightly help the durability, although it will reduce the need of me having to go through hell in the rest of this race. But then Palmer makes a mistake going down into turn 1, and he cuts right in front of Vettel. Vettel's not going to be happy. He's going to be blue flagging. He's going to be absolutely fuming with the blue flags here. He's going to be so frustrated. But then Palmer and Ericsson now, we're going to try to overtake both of them down to this corner. We just about nip it down the inside of Palmer, just about. Wow, that was a risky move. That could have ended so badly. Palmer could have actually blocked us like what he did to Vettel, but passing Van Dorn for P16 in this race, and I don't know what to say, but no, it's Valtteri Bottas who wins the race. We'll come home in P16, the worst result of this entire season. Hamilton's nowhere to be seen on the podium, so Räikkönen finishes third. Oh, 15 points for Räikkönen. Hamilton just needs 5. He just needs 5. If he's got more than 5, I think he's crowned world champion. Oh, man. But yeah, as you can hear from the commentary, Hamilton has won it. I didn't want to play the victory, just to kind of have it up in the air a little bit, but unfortunately Hamilton has won the Drivers' Championship. So that means with one race to go, that's it decided, but the Constructors is still well up for grabs. But going on to the end of this session, one to forget really. This is one of my weakest tracks, definitely, from doing it. It was a combination of the car and me, possibly me, and the strategy. Equal kind of opportunities to improve upon for next season. Hopefully we'll get the enough resource points for the downforce at some point, perhaps at the end of the season. That'll be good. We certainly do need that, and I'm going to think that the chassis, we want to get that ultimate upgrade, or I think it's ultimate. Yes, it must be major or ultimate. I'm not too sure. The major upgrade, I believe it is. We want to get that on the chassis, so we have more of an advantage as such. But that's going to take a long time. I'm going to do the invitational events now, just because I didn't know it went to the upgrade speed being reduced. So I'm going to do that after this. But 27 points. It's only 2 points. Now, that's how close it was. But that's our world champion, Lewis Hamilton, like in real life. We're doing well in the Constructors, believe it or not. But that was the Brazilian Grand Prix. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. That was very eventful. And subscribe for more F1 2017 career mode. And I shall see you all for the finale at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And I shall see you all next time.